Hi, my name is Annie, and I'm going to be your Tuesday on the 5 Awesome Limeys. I know it's not actually Tuesday today, it's Wednesday, but I'm a little bit behind on getting things done this week, and so I'm just a little bit late with getting to this. But I'm happy that we're finally starting on this. It's been kind of a long time of talking about it and um, talking about starting and then it not happening for one reason or another. So I'm really excited that we're finally getting it off the ground. So I'm 29. I am engaged and getting married in March. And right now I work, although I'm kind of between jobs, which I'll probably talk about at some point later on. Work um, I work two jobs basically. I'm the director of religious education at a Unitarian Universalist church, and then I've also been a nanny, and I'm in the midst of trying to find a new nanny position. So I'm sure that will come up again in the future. Um, so my diagnoses, I have a bunch of them. I have chronic Lyme disease. Um, I have babesiosis. I have Bartonella, which are other tick-borne diseases. I have dysautonomia, which was diagnosed as neurocardiogenic syncope. A lot of people are diagnosed with POTS. I may have POTS in addition or instead of the neurocardiogenic syncope, but that's just what I was diagnosed with based on the findings with the testing that I had done. I have gastroparesis. Um, those are the main conditions that affect me on a regular basis. I also have been diagnosed with reactive hypoglycemia, which doesn't really affect me very often. Um, I have, and I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which I'm not currently on treatment for, and I haven't really ever been on um, treatment, much treatment at all for that. So I, at this point, don't really consider that an actual diagnosis necessarily. And then I have things that are more like symptoms from the Lyme and everything else, like migraines. I have basically the symptoms of chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, and all of those kinds of things. I also, because of the dysautonomia and the gastroparesis, I get fluids and vitamins and minerals and amino acids in an IV every day. I have a PICC line in my arm right now that you can't see because I'm wearing a sweatshirt, so it's covered up. But I have a PICC line in my arm right now. For that, I've had a number of ports over the years and a number of PICC lines when I've had issues with the ports. So most recently, I had an issue with blood clots in the side where my port was, so I had to have the port removed, and I'm on blood thinners right now. So that's kind of an additional nice little twist in my already kind of complicated story. I was diagnosed with the Lyme back in 1997 when I was 15, and I was diagnosed clinically. I wasn't testing positive based on the places that we were doing the testing at that point. I didn't know about IGeneX, and I didn't know about some of the other labs that have some better testing. So the tests that I was having done were coming back equivocal. The Western blots were coming back equivocal. So I was diagnosed clinically and started treatment back then, and I've kind of been basically on and off treatment since then. I've had a lot of testing done over the years. I mean, it's been almost 14 years since I was diagnosed. I've had a lot of testing done. My IGeneX tests don't come back blatantly positive, but they're not negative, so I guess basically like all of my regular Western blot testing comes back equivocal. I've had some other testing that has come back positive, but it's been kind of, a lot of stuff over the years, and it's hard to remember all of it. So I was diagnosed with some of the other conditions with, various other testings. The dysautonomia was diagnosed with a tilt table test. The gastroparesis was diagnosed with a gastric emptying study. And the co-infections were a combination of clinical diagnosis and testing. And I've been on and off oral and IV treatment since 1997 when I was initially diagnosed. And we're supposed to share a random non-medical fact about ourselves. And I guess the random non-medical fact about me is that I really love penguins. I don't really know why. I think it's something that I've always had this love for penguins since I was a kid, but it kind of intensified when I was a teenager. My sister gave me the nickname Penguini, which is actually my other screen name is Penguini on here. And kind of after she gave me the nickname, I took off with the penguin stuff. And my fiance and I met at a Halloween party that mutual friends of ours were throwing. He was actually dressed as a penguin the night that we met. And we're having a kind of penguin-themed wedding. So yeah. So I I like penguins quite a lot. I think that they're pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for me for today. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more on time next week, and I look forward to this project taking off. Alright, I will see you all again next week.